2 minutes till broadcast. One minute till broadcast.
What's up, guys? Welcome into it. Happy Monday, man. Ready to rock and roll for a whole new one, setting the tone for the week. It's going to be a blast. We have some exciting news. We have some great guests. It's going to be a wild time for sure. So, that being said, let's do it. Make sure to like it out, share it out, leave that comment, break the algorithm. We'll be here momentarily. Hang tight.
"30 seconds till broadcast. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Begin transmission.
Broadcasting from the heart of the nation, the next generation in conservative talk radio. This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Oh, yes, it is. What is up, my friends? Welcome into it. Here we are. It's a Monday, right? Ready to rock and roll for a whole new one, setting that tone for a whole new week. I know you're excited about it, so let's kick things into gear. Got a carpe diem all over this place, which is what we do here on the show each and every day. We got some exciting news we'll get to. We have some amazing guests. We got 2 of them today. So strap in and buckle up. Broadcasting out of the heart of the nation in Wichita, Kansas on our flagship radio station. But we are all over the country. So many great radio affiliates doing the thing.
Do it live!
Like we do every single day. Bottom of the hour, we have David Cancio on the program. He is the author of the Gabriel Locke series. We're going to talk about Donald Trump's Board of Peace. We'll talk about the Vatican choosing not to join the Board of Peace and working with the United Nations there instead, which, by the way, today, Melania Trump, the First Lady of the United States, was presiding over the UN Security Council and discussing childhood risks online and those type of issues. So really cool to see her be a little more in the public limelight and dealing with some of this and dealing with the United Nations. So that was really kind of cool. Really kind of cool from what we had seen earlier today. We'll get to that in just a bit. Also, obviously, the big news of the day today, man. We got to cover it. Again, the fact that we have a live weekend program, we got to cover it before anybody else, which is kind of exciting. As we look at the Iranian issue and causing some more division within the Republican Party, good idea or bad idea, it's been interesting to watch how people have been responding to this issue overall. Pete Hegseth, the Secretary for the Department of War, has spoken earlier this morning describing and talking about exactly what's going on and what's the one issue that you and I think, are a little gun-shy, metaphorically speaking on this one, is the fact that, well, we came out of a long-term conflict in the Middle East. We don't want another long-term war. And actually, many people supported President Trump in the fact that he's not going to create long-term conflicts. We don't want long-term wars. Tulsi Gabbard, our Department of National Intelligence, came on board as a Republican, supporting Donald Trump, endorsing Donald Trump because she didn't want these long-term conflicts as we were working to slowly pull ourselves out of these conflicts in the Middle East. Are we witnessing a repeat of 2001? Are we witnessing the repeat of 2002 and all the way leading up until the ridiculous pullout of Afghanistan under the Biden administration? Or is this going to be slightly different? The Trump administration and Donald Trump, the candidate, and Donald Trump, the politician and president of the United States, has proven over and over and over again with his promises that he will have no long-term wars, and he's not going to give the power back to the private contractor. He's not going to give power back to the military-industrial complex, and we're not going to go down that road. And in fact, as he said over the weekend, that this is an opportunity for not a regime change of us, but to remove a radical extremist, a radical Islamist terrorist, a number one cell of terrorism in the Middle East. We're going to remove that and give the people back their power in the nation of Iran, that, by the way, are well over majoritively not Muslim. They're Persian and they're Arabian. Big difference between Arab and Muslim. People don't know the difference of that, but they are not a Muslim nation, and they have not been, except for this forcefulness of this Muslim idea and Islamic ideals in Iran over the past couple decades, but it has not taken hold as the majority of the religion in that place. And the Persian population is ready for a regime change. Pete Hegseth trying to calm down some of these concerns about that long-term conflict.
To the media outlets and political left screaming endless wars, stop. This is not Iraq. This is not endless. I was there for both. Our generation knows better, and so does this president. He called the last 20 years of nation-building wars dumb, and he's right. This is the opposite. This operation is a clear, devastating, decisive mission. Destroy the missile threat, destroy the Navy, no nukes. Israel has clear missions as well, for which we are grateful. Capable partners, as we've said since the beginning, capable partners are good partners. Unlike so many of our traditional allies who wring their hands and clutch their pearls, hemming and hawing about the use of force.
Yeah, the use of force. It's going to be an interesting time to see exactly how this plays out. They're planning on 4 to 5 weeks of operations and being done, handing power over to the people of Iran and letting them make their own decision. But as you know, and you may have seen today, gas prices on the way up already. The stock market trying to respond to this. What does that look like?
Let's go to the Hoosier Media Hotline.
And we're going to kick things off right out of the gate today. We sat down just a little while ago with our friends over at Power the Future, powerthefuture.com, Daniel Turner, that joined the program as we sat down to talk about the energy market and more, and this is what he had to say. Dan, how are you, my friend?
Oh, Andy, great to be on with you this morning. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, always great to chat with you for sure. What a wild time. So this has been one of those nations where we've threatened it, we've taunted, we've teased, and they've taunted and teased us for a long time. Yeah. And we've had administrations where they said they were going to do something and then they send them pallets of cash. Or they said we were going to do something and we sell them uranium, Hillary Clinton administration. But that's where we're at now. We have finally a Trump administration that said we're not going to deal with this anymore. They've been putting hits on President Donald Trump. They have threatened war over and over. They continue to not abide by their nuclear sanctions that the UN and us have given them. But we've already seen a major jump in energy. Energy is a huge aspect for that region of the world. What the heck's going on here, Dan? What can we expect?
Yeah, and it shows the importance of American energy dominance because that area of the world is incredibly volatile, and a large percentage of the world's oil does flow through the Persian Gulf and that little narrow stretch called the Straits of Hormuz that we always hear about. It's all the oil that comes from Kuwait. It's all the oil that comes from Iraq. It's a lot of oil from Saudi Arabia. They're on the coast, and that's where the tankers fill up and travel the Persian Gulf into the open seas and then go around the world. So when you have violence and hostility in that area, and it makes it difficult for ships to travel, you see that spike in oil prices, and that's exactly what's happening right now. And yes, it's unfortunate, and yes, prices have gone up considerably, and they may go up still even higher, but that further demonstrates why we need to have more oil and gas production in America. Go back a couple of years after the Russian invasion of Ukraine, oil prices spiked 40%. What we've seen since this invasion in Iran is around 10%. That's a huge difference, and that difference is made up by the fact that we are producing more oil than ever before, and that area of the world is less vital for our national security interests.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate. And we're moving in that right direction, right? I mean, we've been purchasing less oil from Iran or from OPEC in general. We've been producing more. We've been trying to fill our reserves. And at the same time, our new quote unquote family partnership with the nation of Venezuela that we've seen over the past few months, I mean, they're not producing a lot. I think the Trump administration is expecting a few million barrels of oil here and there, but it hasn't been over excessive. But how much do we actually rely on oil from that region when we have been working hard to try and produce more on our end?
Well, we rely on it in terms of refineries because remember, what comes out of the ground, crude, doesn't really have a value until it's refined and turned into a product. And refineries, and America is the world's leading oil and gas refinery, all along the Gulf Coast and those huge refineries in Louisiana and off the coast of Texas.
Sure.
That's where almost all the world brings their crude oil to refine, and then it gets back on a boat and goes back around the world.
Wow.
So we don't necessarily need it for our domestic supply, but the world needs it for their supply, and it is a global commodity. So if the world can't get their hands on oil and that causes a spike, America's going to feel that spike as well. And so yeah, that international component is never going to be taken away from or that global commodity aspect is never going to leave the oil industry. But how nice is it to know that we have our own domestic supply, and if we don't get their oil, yeah, we may have to pay more for it, but other countries don't get it at all, and that's worse.
Yeah, that is really interesting, and you're right. It really does connect for those that may not be aware of how much we're globally connected right now. The fact that this oil from all over the world comes to the great U.S. of A. in order to be refined and be produced before we ship it back out. So, I mean, it's just going all over the place right now.
It really is, and the biggest loser in this is China. 80% of Iran's oil goes to China. If you're Chairman Xi or Premier Xi, whatever his name is, you're a little nervous right now because you've lost Venezuela, and that was a huge supply chain for you. Now you've lost Iran. That's a huge supply chain for you. China does not have a domestic supply of oil, and it's one of their biggest vulnerabilities. And I think President Trump is rightfully exploiting that vulnerability because a weak China is also good for the world, right? As much as Iran is a threat, as much as Russia is a threat, as much as Venezuela was a threat, China still is our biggest adversary. And so a weakened China is good for the world as well.
Yeah, I'm glad you went there because that's where I wanted to go next, was looking at the foreign policy with China and with Russia as well. Russia continues to try and produce and sell oil, and while the world pretty much has sanctions on them with that Russian-Ukrainian conflict that's still going on after years, that's been pretty much what's kept their economy afloat, is selling oil. So is that where China's getting their oil right now? And with this disruption with Iran, I mean, we got to admit, Iran's been kind of the puppet for a lot of these leaders with Russia and China for a while. What does this do to that global shakeup with these two powerhouses that are trying to get global dominance right now?
It puts them in a very weak position because now they are scrambling to keep their economies afloat. And China is not the stable, happy-go-lucky, thriving economy that they like to project. China is on the precipice and can be on the precipice of collapse. It needs a couple of things to sustain itself. It needs huge American markets, and President Trump has a lot of tariffs against China, and it needs a constant supply of energy. And so we've disrupted both of those. And when you disrupt that, you will see volatility in the Chinese economy. And, a couple 100 million people unemployed or struggling to get a job is not something the Communist Party of China can sustain.
Yeah.
So without having to say the word China, President Trump has done more to weaken China than any president in the last 30 years.
What about Russia? Russia doesn't necessarily utilize as much of the oil, I don't know, since they're producing their own, but they have been kind of the puppet, Iran being the puppet of Russia, yes, to at least promote their ideology, to just be the wrench in the system, to be the rabble-rousers. What does this do to Russia's side?
You're absolutely right, and it has caused them or been the source of their wealth. Don't forget that famous image of 2018 when President Trump went to the NATO summit And there's that famous photo of him seated at the table, arms crossed, looking kind of defiant. And leaning over the table is Angela Merkel and Emmanuel Macron, and they're pointing a finger, and they're very angry at him. And that was the moment that President Trump told them, you all need to stop buying Russian oil and gas because you're just making this guy rich.
Right.
And then you're going to come to us and say, hey, defend us, we're going to get attacked by Vladimir Putin. Well, that's exactly what happened. And so a destabilized Russia is also good. You know, President Putin made an overtures over the weekend that he wanted to reassess or readdress peace negotiations. Why? Because he's lost a lot of big partners. He lost Venezuela. He lost Iran. It looks like he's going to lose Cuba any second. Not that Cuba is a strategic ally, but it's a symbolic ally.
Yeah.
So Putin himself is getting pretty well isolated. So here's President Trump using definitely aggressive military tactics, but using even more aggressive economic tactics right out of Ronald Reagan's playbook. And he is resetting the world order for good.
Yeah.
And some of the world's worst actors are becoming weak, and that is good. Or, in the case of the Ayatollah, becoming dead. And that is a very good thing.
That is good stuff. So that's, again, Daniel Turner, Power of the Future, powerofthefuture.com. We have a little bit more with him when we come back around the corner, breaking down this Iran thing, not only militarily, what this means, societal-wise what this means, but energy-wise, the leverage we have on the global scale that Donald Trump always thinking that 5D chess. Lots more coming up. Stay here.
This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
When America builds, the world follows. Our energy powered the 20th century. We've set the standard for generations, and we never waited for permission. But now, we're being held back. Outdated rules, endless delays. Without permitting reform, Washington's red tape is slowing us down while other nations race ahead. It doesn't have to be this way. We can clear the way for energy that's affordable, reliable, and built right here. Because what's built here is felt here. Lower costs, more jobs, stronger communities. That's what permitting reform makes possible. Energy didn't just shape our country, it powered the American dream. And with our innovation, we can lead the 21st century. Congress has a choice. Build America's energy future or risk falling behind. Tell Congress, pass permitting reform now.
Miss any part of the show? Well, don't worry. Now's your chance to go find the podcast and listen to as much of the Voice of Reason as you'd like. As the show continues to grow all across the nation with great radio affiliates, we also continue to grow as one of the top conservative podcasts, ranked 5th on the MillionPodcast.com Best 50 Conservative Leadership Podcasts in the nation, and number 1 on FeedSpot.com's 30 Best Conservative Talk Shows in the country. The show continues to grow each and every day. Just find us on any of your favorite podcasting sites at The Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser. Hey, did you know that you can have multiple different networks on one single smartphone? Well, with Patriot Mobile, you can. It's time for you to sign up for the Patriot Mobile primary phone plan with plans as low as $15 a month, where you can have 2 numbers and 2 networks on one single phone. And right now, if you sign up using the promo code REASON, you can get an entire month absolutely free. It's the Patriot Mobile One plan. 1 phone, 2 numbers, and 2 networks. And it's all at patriotmobile.com/reason. Again, patriotmobile.com, and use the promo code REASON.
What fuels the freedom to dream bigger? How did 2 guys in a cramped California garage reimagine the phone and put the power of the universe at our fingertips? At Americans for Prosperity, we believe greatness can happen anywhere. We just need freedom and the opportunity to make it real. But today, with a rigid system stifling progress, limiting creativity, and holding us back. That's why at AFP, we offer solutions that tackle the most critical challenges facing our country, so there's nothing standing in the way of America's next breakthrough. Because what we build today doesn't just shape the future, it defines it. How will you be defined? Take your first step today with Americans for Prosperity.
When you choose Patriot Mobile, you're not just picking a wireless provider. You're choosing a company that shares your values. It's easy to switch, and you can keep your number, your phone, and most importantly, your values. With Patriot Mobile, you get the power of nationwide coverage on all 3 major networks. That means wherever life takes you, we've got you covered on the same reliable networks you already know and trust. And when you need us, we're here for you right here at home. Our customer service is 100% US based because we believe that support should come from people who understand you and your values. At Patriot Mobile, you're not just another call, you're a priority. In today's world, where you spend your money matters more than ever. Every dollar is a vote for the kind of future you want to build. Join the thousands of Americans making a difference with every call, every text, and every connection. Choose a company that shares your values. Choose Patriot Mobile.
Switch today and get 1 month of service absolutely free by going to patriotmobile.com/reason.
Truth, reason, and common sense. This is the voice of reason with Andy Hooser.
Yeah, just welcome back into the program. Great to have you today for a Monday. Setting that tone, man. We are just all the way in. Strap in, buckle up. Let's do this thing. Trying to cram that 10 pounds of reason into that 5-pound bag. Trying to rebrand the millennial generation, one radio listener at a time, with so many great radio affiliates across the nation. By the way, we have some really exciting news we'll get to in just a little bit. But first, I want to tell you about my friends over at Lean and Brickhouse Nutrition. As you know, everybody's talking about weight loss injections because, well, the results have been really dramatic, and they work by lowering blood sugar and reducing appetite. But what if you're looking to lose weight but not be interested in some of the painful weekly injections, especially when you hear about some of the intense side effects that may come along with it? That's why doctors created the weight loss supplement called Lean, and the results are really remarkable. Studied ingredients in Lean have been shown to lower blood sugar, burn fat by converting it to energy, and curb appetite and cravings, so you're just not as hungry. I have been taking it since the beginning of the year. I'm down 10 pounds. Feel awesome. Haven't changed anything else in my diet. But Lean is not for the casual dieter with only a few pounds to lose. Doctors at Brickhouse Nutrition created Lean for the frustrated dieters with 10 pounds or more to lose, and we can get you started right now. Go to TakeLean.com. Use our promo code for the radio show. You'll get 20% off on your rush shipping and free rush shipping, but 20% off your first order. That free rush shipping, and add Lean to your healthy diet and exercise plan. Go to TakeLean.com, TakeLean.com, and use my promo code REASON, REASON. TakeLean.com. Use the promo code REASON and do it right now. All right, as you know, a lot to cover with this Iran issue that's been going on. Plus, we had a lot of news going on today for sure. The Board of Peace that continues to have conversations. I know people on the other side, wait a second, Board of Peace, we're starting war. But are we creating a longer-lasting peace by getting rid of the central hub of terrorists in the Middle East and the end of radical Islam in the Middle East? Interesting conversation. That's what we're going to go to with our next guest on the program.
Let's go to the Hooser Media Hotline.
That's right. Happy to have on here. He is a Cuban-American. He's author of the Gabriel Locke series. The latest book in the series is Gabriel Locke, Bound by Fate. Really happy to have on here David Cancio. David, how are you, my friend?
I'm doing very well, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, doing great. Appreciate you coming on the show. There's so much to cover and talk about, and it's wild that foreign policy has kind of taken hold in the mainstream talking points, because a lot of times foreign policy is very difficult for people to understand and how other parts of the world actually work. But we have right now the pushback from the United Nations. We have a new Board of Peace under the Trump administration. We have the conflict in Iran. We have peace deals going on around the world. I mean, this is a very interesting time on how the U.S. is seen around the world, isn't it?
I think interesting is probably the best word to call. I'm trying to think of another word. And, as a writer, you would think that we have a plethora of words, but I'm pretty much speechless.
Yeah.
Outside of interesting, because there's really not another way to describe it.
Yeah.
Just an incredible time to be alive.
Yeah, it really is. Let's go through some of this here. First, let's talk about Iran. Obviously, the big news with the bombing that happened over the weekend. Donald Trump coming out at 3 o'clock in the morning on Saturday morning and said that we've started this. Their plan is to do anywhere between a 4 to 5 month plan, get it done, 4 to 5 week venture, boom, get it done, and allow the people of Iran to actually take it over. Is that plausible? Could we actually go from a 20-year war in the Middle East with Iraq and Afghanistan to a 4 to 5 week excursion, go in, get it done, and have the people kind of take over again?
I can't imagine why we wouldn't be able to do it. I know that it's very difficult for a lot of people to process that because of what happened in the war in Iraq, but, if it wouldn't have been for President Trump creating the plan to pull out of Iraq, we wouldn't have, right? He got us out of Iraq and he got us out of Afghanistan, which, let's not talk about what it was like pulling out of Afghanistan during the Biden administration. Yeah. But, he is a president that thinks that wars are costly, stupid, unnecessary loss of life, and he's very muchly so the kind of guy that wants basically scalpel precision as opposed to simply a sledgehammer. Right. Don't get me wrong, when he drops the bomb, it definitely feels like a sledgehammer and a lot more. But, he's not one for prolonged engagement. Sure. He doesn't want to be in a place where we're spending thousands and thousands of dollars, millions of dollars, billions of dollars to be in some place where all really we're doing is losing American lives.
Right. And he's doing that. I mean, we're seeing that in the action right now, which what we've seen. I've watched the map of where the bombings have taken place, and like you said, it's been precise on exactly how we're doing it. We've already eliminated the top 40 leaders in Iran. We got to go down that food chain quite a bit for us to actually get rid of some of the crazy radicals that continue to lead in that country. But it's good news to see exactly how precise this is going. David, I've seen the videos on social media constantly, filling up all of my social media on all the different sites of not only Iranian people in Iran, but the rallies and excitement and parties and flag waving and these rallies happening around the world, here in the United States, all over the place, up in Canada, down in Australia, over in Europe and the UK. I mean, this has had global impact. It kind of reminds me the same that we saw a few months ago when he did the same thing with Venezuela, and the people of Venezuela were celebrating.
Well, wait till he takes out Cuba. I mean, you won't be able to call me for 2 weeks when that happens. You know, Miami's going to be something next level. But no, that's exactly it. I mean, you're talking about an oppressive regime that really, at the end of the day, was torturing and killing people. You know, the Shah, or excuse me, not the Shah, the leader of Iran, the Ayatollah, was worse than, you know, anything we remember from Saddam Hussein. And we know how bad he was. But he made Saddam Hussein look like a choir boy.
Yeah.
So this is the level of severity that we have that has now just been removed. And just like you were saying, you know, we have to go through the entire chain of command and get rid of everyone. The Israelis are on the ground doing everything that they can, you know, to knock them out. But I think that we're going to see a much more peaceful Middle East from this from this move. But on top of that, we have just removed another supplier of Chinese oil.
Yes. Yeah, that's exactly right.
That is the major piece.
Yeah, we're holding China accountable. They're losing their minds. We're holding Russia accountable because Iran has definitely been a puppet for both of those nations for a long time, not just in the energy sector, but also just kind of the wrench in the system, the rabble-rouser for the Middle East that's caused a lot of unrest and uncertainty for sure. We're talking with David Cancio. You can check out his series, the Gabriel Locke series. Let's talk about for a moment the Board of Peace and the fact that we are trying to create longer-lasting peace right now. The Vatican, the Catholic Church, for whatever reason, made the announcement just in the past week or so that they're not on board with the Board of Peace. They're sticking with the United Nations instead. They don't want to associate with the Board of Peace. Why do you think we're seeing this? When we're seeing in a world right now where action is actually being implemented, we're getting things done, and we're really bringing Donald Trump bringing more peace, in my opinion, around the world than any other administration, any other world leader in the past 100 years right now. Why would they not want to get on board with this kind of movement?
For a couple of different reasons. Number one, I think when you are the Pope and you are also American, right, if you're supposed to be a representative and the representative for the universal church, you're put in a very tough position, right? You're not supposed to favor any one country over anyone else. You're not supposed to favor the chance of redemption and conversion of any one peoples over anyone else. So I think the fact that he is American makes it difficult enough as it is, because everybody can turn around and say, well, he's American and he's from the United States, so of course, you know, he's going to throw in with the Americans and everyone from Western civilization. Now, we know that obviously Western civilization has primarily been the bastion of the Catholic Church. I mean, let's be honest, right? The Catholic Church is located in Rome, within the Vatican City. It's 1.5 miles, you know, square miles, if you will, and it's seated in basically the beginning of what is Europe and all of Western civilization. But the Church's mission is not just Western civilization, but rather the whole world. So I think that does put him in a tough position. In addition to that, the United Nations has been around for a lot longer than anywhere else. Had the Board of Peace invited everybody from everywhere to be a part of it, then the Pope could turn around and say, well, this is open to everyone. Therefore, I think it's a great thing to be part of this universal organization. But it's not, because it's definitely not open to China, and it's definitely not open to other places. So I think just with those things alone, the Pope was always going to have to say no, and the Vatican was always going to have to say no, because I think they're trying to distance themselves as much as they can from international politics and being more involved with international social Catholic teaching.
Yeah.
And that is, I think, really the focus.
Yeah, I guess that does make sense, where they don't want to show that favoritism, especially with the first American Pope on that front. I would ask the question to them, and I wish they would be able to answer it, is what exactly has the UN been able to do to create peace around the world? Because they don't do a whole lot, and they've been kind of useless, in my opinion, since their creation after the League of Nations and the end of World War II. We got a couple minutes left here, David. I got to shift gears, though, and ask, obviously, being a Cuban American yourself and the issues going on with Cuba, we've seen the toppling of Maduro in Venezuela. We've seen the cutting off and putting the pressure on of Cuba with them potentially self-imploding now with the communist movement that they have there. We saw a truth post or a tweet or whatever it is from Donald Trump a week or so ago teasing of what he called some type of family get-togethering or a peaceful transition of ownership or something about Cuba. Can you speculate, now that we're seeing all this stuff around the world, what are we going to see with the nation of Cuba here soon?
Well, what I'd like to see is that the party leadership just surrenders and everybody that's on, the American list leaves. I'd love to see that happen. I would love to see that they just get up and walk out, that there's no military intervention, that the Department of Justice doesn't have to go out and get anybody, right? I would love to see that.
Yeah.
Not a single American life at risk, a very peaceful transition, because they're running out of money. And
Yeah.
not only that, nobody thought that we could go out and just kidnap Maduro, and we did. And then nobody thought we'd be able to get the Ayatollah, and we didn't just take out the Ayatollah, but we took out 39 other guys of his. So if I'm Cuba, I'm sweating right now.
That's
and
right.
You know that Marco Rubio, for sure, as our Secretary of State and being the child of Cuban immigrants,
Yeah.
would hit them with a hammer if he could.
He's going to have a
So
strong interest in there.
It's not really
Yeah,
it's not looking
we-
too bright for them. So I think they should just take the money and run.
I like that idea. David, we're out of time, my friend. Go check out his book series. We appreciate it. Got to get you back on the show again real soon. A great pleasure for you. Got to take a break. Lots more coming up. Stay here.
This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
Big government is broken. Every year, politicians fail to pass a budget as the deficit continues to grow. Every month, unelected bureaucrats pile on rules no one voted for, strangling our economy. And every day, DC's broken system gets in the way of the American dream. Washington isn't working, and the people pay the price. At Americans for Prosperity, we believe it's time to fix the system. Now, join the movement to make government work.
As you know, I'm always looking for a good snack, but it's hard to find good quality snacks without all the unhealthy additives. But now that problem is over. It's time to enjoy J&S Smoked Snacks. Real cuts of beef, real wood smoke, and real flavor that's crafted in small batches to keep every bag fresh. I promise you'll be addicted. And with numerous different flavors, you'll never get enough. This is not your average gas station jerky. It's J&S Smoked Snacks. Find them online at jssmokedsnacks.com and tell them I sent you.
When you choose Patriot Mobile, you're not just picking a wireless provider. You're choosing a company that shares your values. It's easy to switch, and you can keep your number, your phone, and most importantly, your values. With Patriot Mobile, you get the power of nationwide coverage on all 3 major networks. That means wherever life takes you, we've got you covered on the same reliable networks you already know and trust. And when you need us, we're here for you right here at home. Our customer service is 100% US-based because we believe that support should come from people who understand you and your values. At Patriot Mobile, you're not just another call, you're a priority. In today's world, where you spend your money matters more than ever, every dollar is a vote for the kind of future you want to build. Join the thousands of Americans making a difference with every call, every text, and every connection. Choose a company that shares your values. Choose Patriot Mobile.
Switch today and get 1 month of service absolutely free by going to patriotmobile.com/reason.
What fuels the freedom to dream bigger? Our country's greatest breakthroughs were born from bold ideas and the ability to take one small step forward. At Americans for Prosperity, freedom and opportunity find their defenders. Because our country's next giant leap is just around the corner. Are you ready to step up?
Hey, the live show may be almost over today, but it doesn't have to be for you. As always, enjoy the Voice of Reason with our daily podcast by finding the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser on any of your favorite podcasting sites. Just find us, subscribe, have it automatically downloaded, and listen at your convenience whenever you want to bring some more reason into your day. And a lot of people are doing it. Also, you can always find the video of the show, along with articles, additional commentary, and maybe a few sarcastic remarks by following us on our social media. Stay up to date with everything going on with the show, including upcoming guests, breaking news stories, interesting articles, and maybe some memes. Help us in the ongoing battle with censorship and shadow banning from social media by following us on the social media at Hooser Reason on all of our social media sites. For all these social media links, podcast links, contact information, or just general information of the show, go to our website at HooserReason.com. There you can listen live every day, read our latest monthly blog, find our radio affiliate list, or even listen to our latest infomercials and special content. Plus, you can always reach out to the program by sending me a message on social media, emailing us at HooserMediaNetwork@gmail.com, or sending an email through our website at HooserReason.com. Whether it's content on the show, whether it's a guest that you've liked or disliked, or whether you want to disagree with me, and disagreements always appreciated. While you're there, make sure to sign up for our monthly newsletter. Each month you'll get the latest update on the show, updates from the Hooser Media Network, and our latest blog discussing topical issues of the day. Finally, if you want to help support the show, become a member of our Patreon site and help us fight for the cause of truth, reason, and common sense every day, and get more of the same by becoming the ultimate Hoosierholic. Get additional interviews that sometimes we don't always get to air on the radio. Hear our special segments or even our infomercials before anyone else, and have a chance to chat with other great Hoosierholics from all over. By becoming a Patreon subscriber, you're not only helping the fight for conservative values, you're helping us get more content and information out through the Hooser Media Network. Find out more information online at HooserReason.com. Lastly, follow and support all of our partners with the show. The Voice of Reason has been growing more and more every year, and it's because of so many great partners helping us get the message out to you. From show partners to local radio affiliates in your area to streaming sites, podcasting sites, and more, we have so many supporters and listeners now than ever before, and we want to thank you. It's time to bring back common sense, and we do it right here every day with the Voice of Reason.
America's safe space for common sense. This is the Voice of Reason with Andy Hooser.
It took the 47th president, a fighter who always puts America first, to finally draw the line after 47 years of Iranian belligerence. He reminded the world, as he has time and time again, being an American means something unbreakable. If you kill Americans, if you threaten Americans anywhere on earth, we will hunt you down without apology and without hesitation, and we will kill you.
I mean, that's a bold statement right there. Secretary of the Department of War, Pete Hegseth, making his announcement earlier today, breaking down what it looks like with this operation going on in Iran. It really does depict the idea, and this should be the slogan for the Trump administration, FAFO, which if you know what that means, then that's about as much as we can say on the FCC-regulated airwaves here across the nation, which is exciting. So we're moving in that right direction. I have seen, I don't know if you've been seeing some of these memes online of Kim Jong-un with North Korea and him making the phone call to Trump being like, hey, we still cool, man? Everything okay? Look, we've toppled Nicolas Maduro. We're about ready to topple communist Cuba. We have been threatening to do this for a long time. We had a Clinton Secretary of State that sold uranium to Iran. We had the Obama administration that sent them buttloads of cash on pallets. This time, we're like, no, you're going to get along with us, and you're not going to make idle threats any longer. You're not going to stem terrorism any longer. We're just going to eliminate you and give the country back to the people. And now Kim Jong-un like, ooh, he's actually following through with a lot of these threats. We okay? We okay, buddy? Hey, you all right? Yeah. By the way, appreciate David Canto coming on the program. Great conversation about what's going on worldwide. Of course, the Vatican, which, as you know, I am skeptical because they keep a lot of secrets, just like the governmental entities. They keep a lot of secrets of the people, and I'm not too pleased about that until they open up their entire Vatican library that is miles and miles and miles of library stuff underground that they don't allow us to see, I'm really not going to trust them. So I have some major problems on that front. That being said, though, their push to continue to support the United Nations, not support the Board of Peace. I don't know if you saw or not, Melania Trump was presiding over the UN Security Council today. They were chatting about a lot of children issues because that's kind of her forte, on keeping children safe, especially online. I don't know what country she was talking to at the time, but was listening to somebody testify to her presiding over that UN Security Council on the risks of children online.
As children in armed conflict face increasing risk of online harm, including online recruitment, exploitation, and sexual abuse, the Security Council Children's and Armed Conflict Framework has a duty to remain attentive to these evolving dynamics. Digital dimensions of recruitment, exploitation, and incitement are directly relevant to the protection mandate of this Council. Monitoring and reporting mechanisms should, where appropriate, reflect these emergent risks.
Yeah, it's kind of neat. So God bless Melania Trump, and I'm glad that she's out there doing more on the public light and heading up some of the UN security issues, especially with children. All right, we've been teasing you enough with a big announcement we have for the radio program.
What's trending today?
And I've been waiting on pins and needles to be able to announce this because it's not locked in on exactly when this will be starting, but I will say it's happening sooner than later. And by that, I mean like sometime this week, it sounds like, or maybe next week, but it's really exciting. As you know, we have our monster broadcast on Saturdays that's been syndicated with our partnership through Salem Radio Network that's been distributed through them for about 2.5 years now. We're over 30 affiliates and most affiliates in top 50 markets around the country, which is really exciting. Well, we have an announcement that this program, our 1-hour weekday program, that is already in multiple markets around the country in numerous different places. I want to say we're like in 8 to 10 markets around, and some really big ones. Hat tip to our friends in San Antonio and Chicago and all those that are carrying this program right now. But this program will officially now be syndicated through a satellite distributor as well with our new friends at Talk Media Network. So, round of applause. We are... Although it's been technically syndicated because we send them the audio and send them the show every day anyways, that this will now be on the satellite just like our weekend program. So therefore, any radio station across the nation with a satellite receiver, as you pick up all of these syndicated programs, will have access to this program as much as everybody else. We already have more affiliates lining up and ready to join us live during the weekdays, which is really exciting, and we will make those announcements as they come along. But we welcome aboard our new syndicate partners with Talk Media Network in the syndication of our 1-hour weekday show that continues to grow. I'm telling you, man, 2026 is going to be huge and bigly.
And I think we're going to make it bigly.
And we cannot wait to see where the growth takes us. At the same time, we got word with our friends over at Talkers Magazine that does the annual announcements of the Heavy 100 top talk shows in the nation, that we will be working with them on a couple projects throughout this year as well. In June, more information to come on that one. Until then, though, we're back at it again tomorrow. We'll see you back on the radio. Be your own voice of reason. Be that catalyst for change. It's the voice of reason. I'm Andy Hooser. We'll see you on the radio soon. Bye. Hey, it's Andy Hooser. You know, when I get off the air every day, the battle for me against limited government, censorship, and even unfactual content is far from over. That's why now I'm so happy to say that the Hooser Media Network is giving you more opportunity to catch the voice of reason along with other great shows and podcasts. It's been a long time in the works, and now you can finally enjoy more great content, services, and topical shows. We're the safe space for alternative talk, information, and ideas that the mainstream media absolutely hates. From holistic and alternative medicine, discussions on religion and spirituality, pure entertainment shows, and of course yours truly with the voice of reason. Plus, we offer numerous media services, including helping you set up your own podcast. Become your own voice of reason and bring your expertise to any fun issue or topic. For information on all of our shows, links to podcasts, each show website or social media link, or to find out about everything we do to challenge the mainstream establishment, visit our website at HooserMedia.com. Again, that's HooserMedia.com, the future of media.
Hi, this is Gordon Deal. Tuesday on This Morning, America's First News. Less than a year ago, President Trump declared that regime change led by the United States was over. What's with the reversal now with Iran? Also, stay put or get out. Companies with employees in the Middle East are examining the best ways to safeguard their workers. And what a global crisis means for travelers with plans overseas. Tuesday on This Morning, America's First News.
Weekdays 6 to 8 a.m. right here